What's good, guys? This is Captain Awesome, and today we are delving into the metal story that is Eddie Brock Carnage, issue number 1. Now, right off the bat, just for some groundworks or setup like I always do, this comes off the heels of the Venom War. A disappointing story, to be honest. It didn't live up to what I was expecting the Venom War to be. An okay story nonetheless that moved the characters of Eddie and Eddie Brock forward. So, after the events of Venom War, Eddie Brock was separated from Venom, which was kind of being set up all this while during the issues of Venom and up until Venom War. Eddie is left without a symbiote, and Carnage, who also was plotting behind the scenes and all that with Meridius, who is, for those of you who don't know, kind of like a different version of Eddie Brock, who was also one of the Kings in Black. But Carnage was weakened, and Eddie also being separated from Venom, they came to a agreement of sorts where Carnage and Eddie would work together for some time, I believe, until Carnage could gain his full power, which I don't think Eddie is going to actually fully help with. But yeah, that's where this story starts off at. So right off the bat, we see that Eddie is in a plane, and he and Carnage seem to be looking for some kind of killer. Carnage is telepathically trying to communicate to Eddie, who seems to be trying to start him out. We do see in that same panel that he has some prescription drugs on his airplane tray, and I think those are to block out the symbiote thoughts from his mind, more than likely. But anyways, as Carnage always does, he's trying to push Eddie until Eddie just says enough. Unfortunately, he freaks out the person sitting next to him, and he apologizes and tells her he's not feeling very well, and the pills seem to be what are helping him to numb up the inner thoughts that Carnage is giving to him. So we finally learn who they are looking for: the hopscotch killer. Someone checks in on him, asking Eddie not to do anything brash as they're on the plane with the killer, and she doesn't seem to entirely know that he and Carnage have planned to already kill this individual. And the profile that he gave for this killer is a white male in his late 30s, early 40s, who is a seasoned traveler flying on business alone. That was the profile that was given to them by the person who was talking on the phone, who happens to be Bailey. I'm not sure of who this Bailey is. I'm not really a, seasoned Venom expert. Although I do know a bit, but I don't know who this Bailey is. And we get some background on why this killer is called the hopscotch killer, as they were named that because they leave their victims across the country, and the way the bodies are marked have a distinctive grade carved into the flesh, but there are no road parts into the locations. Police even thought it may be a truck driver, but forensic analysis showed some killings happened on the same day, too far from each other to be drivable. So the police next thought was that there were multiple killers, but that didn't track for Eddie, as that was unusual. And Eddie came to the conclusion that this person was doing it on the side after traveling from one location to another. Hence why he and Carnage are on the airplane now. Carnage just wanting to skip all the detective work and get into the killing. Tells him that he's very clever, but they need to quickly handle this as he's bored with all the time they spent at the airport already before getting to the plane for, the fun part for him. So he's like, let's just find him. Eddie then tells him to take a look beneath the hood. So Carnage connects to everyone on the plane, reading their memories, their lives, everything that they've done, to see who exactly is the hopscotch killer. He sees that none of the passengers on the plane are the hopscotch. So Eddie's like, we've got it wrong then. And he's like, you've got it wrong, Eddie, but he better get it right. Can you show the killers on the plane? To which Carnage responds, yes, I can sense them. A dead dealer, someone who lives in the ashes of pain, a mirror, they are here. And Eddie's just like, they better be, as he extends Carnage's tendrils further, connecting to every single person. And he's just like, it's none of these people, not one of them is the killer. He asks Carnage again if he's lying to him. And Carnage is like, why would I, Eddie? And obviously he's right to say that this is exactly what he would want. He's Carnage, his whole thing is killing people. So why would he brand these people as innocent if he just wants to kill them in the first place? He reinforces that the killer is there. So Eddie's just like, I've seen every mind on this plane, every passenger, the flight attendants. So it finally clicks to him. If it's not the passengers, and it's obviously not the flight attendants, there are only two options left, the pilot. So Eddie quickly rushes and opens up the pilot's entry doors using the Carnage symbiote. Now he are trying to guess which one of the two pilots it is. And Carnage, always the one who enjoys violence, just like kill them both then. But before they can do anything else, a federal agent interrupts them and asks Eddie to lie face down on the floor with his hands behind his head. And he has 5 seconds to comply or they will shoot. Eddie doesn't have time for any of these shenanigans. Carnage takes the opportunity to roast Eddie, telling him he's stupid, but that they can solve this problem too. So as soon as the federal air marshal shoots, Eddie just shoots up entirely into the Carnage symbiote, blocking the bullet. So he tells the pilots, not knowing for sure which one of them it is, that I know who you are. I know what you've done. It's over. And the main pilot is just kind of confused and shocked. But before he can do anything, the co-pilot pulls out a knife and tells Eddie, "I am the only holy thing here, demon. You say it's over, but I'm not done yet." And he stabs the main pilot in the throat. To which Carnage is just like, "Beautiful, just beautiful work." Obviously not good, not a good sign when one pilot is dead, another one is a suicidal serial killer. The marshal keeps firing for some reason, and Eddie just fed up, is like, "Lady, please, I'm a little busy here." The hopscotch killer then tries to cut the plane's controls so that they all go down with him. Obviously a psychopath, he's like, "My holy work will be done. I'll bring the purifying flame, the cleansing fire. The demon will die. All the demons will die. My holy work will be done." This guy is not really right in the head. "Down we will go," he continues. "Red Devil, you will take me, but neither of us will go alone." And Eddie now needing to take action immediately is confused and is like, "This bastard just killed everyone on this plane." Carnage is obviously enjoying this, saying that, "I like this one." Now suited up from head to toe in the Carnage symbiote, he just rips apart the hopscotch killer. And although this was kind of the right thing to do in this situation, extreme but not entirely wrong, the more worrying part is that Eddie and Carnage seem to be enjoying this together. I don't know if this is the lingering effects of his time as the King in Black and bonding with his other personality of the Bedlam symbiote. But Eddie is displaying very homicidal desires and intent here in this panel. So Carnage tells Eddie that the plane is going down, and you think that he'd be worried, but he's like, "This is amazing." He almost wished he hadn't killed the hopscotch killer. He did incredible work. And Eddie's just like, "This wasn't the deal, Carnage." And Carnage is just like, "It's time to go, Eddie." But Eddie tells him not yet, trying to pull all the passengers out and save their lives. So Eddie wraps them in this net-like construct he makes with the Carnage symbiote. And Carnage is obviously not pleased with it, asking Eddie why he would do something so stupid. He can't use his powers like this. This isn't what Carnage does. This wasn't the deal, Eddie Brock. This wasn't the deal. You sanctimonious monster. How dare you sully me, my legacy, by doing something like this? And Eddie, just ignoring him, is trying to power his way through and get these people to safety. Carnage asks him, "Do you remember how good it felt when you killed the hopscotch? Imagine how good it would feel to kill this many people. Your life's been so hard. You never get to feel good. Don't you want to? Just this once." And everything just fades to black. So on the next page, you don't really get to see what happened after he tries to save all these people on the plane, but he wakes up somewhere else entirely. So after he wakes up, obviously he's shocked and he doesn't know what happened to all that time that he was blacked out. He gets a call from Bailey, and she just tells Eddie that she has been trying to reach him for so long. And Eddie asks about the plane and what happened to the passengers. She was hoping Eddie could tell her because the plane crashed, but they only found two bodies, the pilot and co-pilot. And she asked him whether the hopscotch killer was on the plane and what happened up there. And Eddie's just like, the hopscotch was the pilot, but he has to go, obviously trying to find out what happened to the passengers, as if they went on the plane crash, they'd have to be somewhere. As to whether they are dead or not is what Eddie is now worried about. So Eddie reaches out to Carnage telepathically, telling him that they need to talk. Carnage, looking dapper, looking like some Spider-Man Marvel, and is just like, "I'm here for you, whatever you need." And Eddie very, very pissed, because you can't just take over people's bodies like that. That's not a cool thing to do. Tells Carnage, "What I need is for you to tell me what happened back there. What happened to the passengers on that plane? How did I get back to the hotel? I've got missing time, and the only explanation is you. Tell me what you did." Carnage, always the homicidal symbiote, goes on to tell Eddie, "No." And this doesn't go with Eddie. Carnage is just like, "Oh, what, Eddie?" As he tries to threaten and swallow up Eddie. "There's only one thing you can do to me, and we both know you won't do it. If you die, I die. But that's not happening. I can see into your mind, Eddie, your soul. You are not suicidal. Personally, I don't get it. You are broke, your kid refuses to see you, you are completely alone, but for some reason, you just keep plodding along. I'm all you've got, but that doesn't have to be a bad thing. I've been diminished since all that business with Meridius. I'm not as independent as I once was. I need a host, and you need a way to tell yourself you're a good person. We both get what you want." And Eddie trying to rebuttal is like, "You don't just want a host, Carnage. You want to kill people." And Carnage replies to him, "So do you, pal. Don't kid a kidder. You want power too. You miss that other symbiote of yours, the simpleton, Venom. You aren't the King in Black anymore, and you miss that too. In case you forgot, this whole thing we are doing was your idea." Which is kind of true. Eddie was the one who bonded with Carnage at the end of Venom War to save himself and prevent Carnage from going haywire, and bonding with someone else which could have been even bigger news and bigger trouble for everyone else. So Carnage continues, "You wanted to bring me into you. You wanted to make the big sacrifice. Carry me so no one else would have to. Thought you could control me and get all my power too. You want to go after serial killers. If that to suit Eddie Brock's widow baby conscience, fine, be my guest. I bet you'll meet some truly interesting people. So Eddie continues, yes, but not innocent. That wasn't the deal. What did you do with the passengers? How did you blank out my memory? Obviously, Carnage wasn't going to tell him, and he just tells Eddie. In fact, I'm insulted you would even ask. Did you really think things wouldn't get bloody? We are Carnage. He just tells Eddie, enough chit chat. It's time to get this train moving. We need to find someone to kill Killer. But I want someone with powers this time. I'm evaluating these people as potential host after all. I want someone with juice. Otherwise, well, it's not a fair fight, is it? Eddie is just like, fine, whatever, who? And he tells Eddie, oh, I've got some ideas, but it's not really my choice. Out there in the real world, you are steering the ship. So, my good friend Eddie, when it comes to our next little hunt, you tell me. As we see a display of all the potential targets, including Phoenix, Galactus, Deadshot, Silver Surfer, Hela, Daredevil, Elektra, the new host of Venom Unbelieving, and two other characters I can't really identify. But that is where Eddie Brock Carnage issue number 1 ends off. And I'd like to say, I am happy that we are getting to see this new partnership with Venom and Carnage. Although they've fought and have been enemies in different storylines and stuff of that sort. I'm sure they've teamed up before, but we've never really seen them team up in this sense where Eddie and Carnage are symbiote and symbiote host. So it's an interesting thing. I definitely want to see where this goes. I don't know how many issues this will be, but I'm interested. I'm hooked already from the first issue. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think of this issue. Did you like it? Did you think it was trash? Are you happy with how this story is going so far? And any other thoughts or even questions you have, just let me know in the comments. As always, this has been Captain Awesome. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome.